Oh, here we are. Hey guys, afternoon. For those of you who don't know, I'm Damien Van Eyck, the newly appointed chairman of ANZCham. So to thank you all this afternoon for joining our introduction to the charity bike ride. Alex will take you through the actual presentation this afternoon and how the bike ride is going to work for this year. For those of you who haven't joined the bike ride in previous years, I did it last year and absolutely a brilliant trip. So you get to see some amazing places across this pretty amazing island. You also get to meet some fantastic people and make some really good friendships along the way. So absolutely get involved, really good value trip and a really good way to be able to see and explore this amazing island on which most of us live. And if you're coming in for it, do that too. It's a pretty cool place. But I'll pass over to Alex now and he'll take you through the presentation.
Cool. Thank you, Damien. So just some housekeeping. If everyone could keep their microphone on mute. If you have any questions, there should be a Zoom group chat box. So you can just ask them on the chat box, and if I see it, I'll try and respond. Before we begin, I'd like to say thank you, of course, to our great sponsors. So far we've got three, so ANZ Bank, Fonterra and Zespri, who will be sponsoring this year's event. We do have a few more in the pipeline, and if you know anyone that might be interested as well, please put them in contact with me. So let's get straight into the presentation. Sorry. Cool. So the first part is about why we're doing this charity bike ride. And actually, this is the third year running that we've done it since 2017. And there's really three main points. So the first one, of course, is to get fit. It's really hard for all of us to do exercise and to be motivated. But if you've got a 5-day bike ride, that's 450 kilometers, you got to prepare for it. So make sure that you're riding, make sure that you're exercising. So it's a really great way to motivate you to get fit. The second one is, Damien just briefly touched on it. It's just to explore the beautiful country that we all live in. It's quite hard for all of us, we're all stuck in our Taipei bubble, to get out there, and especially to rural areas. Through the bike ride, you're going to go to places that even Taiwanese people haven't been. So it's a pretty unique experience. And the last one is to contribute. So we all love Taiwan, and we want to do what we can to contribute back to this society. So the charity bike ride is actually, it's a CSR project. And what we do is through our sponsorship, through our riding, we raise money for Taiwanese charities across the country. So to give you an example, last year, we actually donated over 200,000 Taiwan dollars to some local charities. So touching on the charities quickly, this year we'll be continuing to give money to the Taiwan Fund for Children and Families. So they're a local charity that promotes and advocates for the well-being of children and adolescents and underprivileged families. So you can see some photos here of when we visited the charity last year. So let's get straight into the tour. So this year, we're going for a little bit of a different ride. We're starting in Taipei and we're making our way down to Tainan. So it's a pretty interesting ride when you think about it, because Taipei is the capital city of Taiwan. It's the northern capital. It's very new and modern. But Tainan, on the other hand, it's the southern capital. It's actually the old capital. So in the past, it was the capital city of Taiwan. And it's considered like this old cultural capital of Taiwan now. So we're riding from like the modern metropolis that is Taipei, kind of back in time into this kind of ancient old city that is Tainan, and stopping across some pretty unique parts along the way. So for those of you who've been last year and who've even been to the ride last year, the year before, these are the routes that we had. So in 2018, we rode from Taipei to Kending, the red line. In 2019, we rode from Hualien to Tainan, which is the blue line. And this year, we're riding from Taipei to Tainan, the green line. So the idea is if you've been on the ride every year, we're always going to see something different. And this is kind of the missing gap into your complete round route of Taiwan. So if you've been with us on the ride every year, then you can easily say, I've ridden all around Taiwan, just split up into 3 parts. So here's the breakdown of the event, the day-to-day breakdown. I'll send this out to everyone, so you don't need to make any notes or anything. But basically every day we're riding nearly 100 kilometers, so 80, 100, 100, 99, 94, 76, for a total of 450. And there's just some brief points that I wanted to touch on. So every day we kind of have some different highlights that we're going to look at. Going down the western coast is actually a pretty unique experience because we'll actually get to experience a lot of Taiwanese culture that you wouldn't experience on the east coast. So for example, on the first day, we'll get to visit a persimmon tourist farm, and our hotel will also be near the Hakka cultural area. So the western area is very famous for Hakka culture. So this is something that you wouldn't see if you're on the eastern side. On day 2, we'll be riding on Route 3, which is known as the Hakka Romantic Avenue. So it's quite a beautiful route and quite famous in Taiwan. And then we'll end in Fengyuan, and there'll be a night market, which is really close. That will be our dinner that night. On day 3, we'll end up visiting the Rainbow Village. So if you don't know, the Rainbow Village is in Taichung. I'll just move back back here. And it's actually this photo here on the top left-hand corner. You can see this kind of rainbow picture, and that's Min, one of our tour guides. So this is like a pretty famous tourist destination in Taiwan. So we'll visit that on day 3. We'll also have lunch in Luguang Old Street, and then we'll visit the second longest bridge in the world till 1952. So that's pretty cool. And then on day 4, it's a bit of a climbing day, so it's going to be a bit of a tougher ride, but really great scenery. And on day 5, it'll be a bit more downhill, and we'll ride through this Zhengwen Dam, and then we'll also visit the Xihua office, which is a Japanese-style building. So on this route, we'll actually get to experience a lot of different culture from Taiwan, especially Hakka culture, which is quite rare. But again, I'll be sending this out to everyone, so don't stress. And we wanted to highlight quickly just the hotels that we're staying at. So there are 4 different hotels, and you can see from the photos, they're actually all very good. So we make sure with Giant that we always pick quite comfortable hotels. So do not worry, every night you'll have a very good night's rest. These are the elevations for every day. So 1 through 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, you know, some days there's a bit more hilly, some days it's a bit more flat. I heard from Giant that overall this ride is slightly more hilly than the one that we did last year, but I think it'll be fine. Last year I think there was a few more extreme hills. This one's kind of a little bit more spread out. And we're quite lucky that on day 3 we have a pretty flat day. So midway through we'll have a pretty restful ride. So we're missing a slide. Let me find it. Okay, so the price, the part everyone's been waiting for. So this year, there are 2 options. So you've got a double room or you have a single room. So the double room will be 30,000 for the complete package, and single is 35,000 for the complete package. Again, this price includes the bike rental from Giant. So if you bring your own bike, you'll have a $1,500 discount for using your own bike. So in this package, it pretty much includes everything. So it includes your 4 nights accommodation, includes 4 lunches. So one of the lunches will be a self-serve lunch. It includes 2 dinners. And so again, 2 dinners will be self-serve. So one of them will be at the night market, for example. It includes your bike and helmet rental, your insurance, maintenance, your road support, pictures, service, admin. And if you're bringing your own bike, they'll actually deliver your bike back to Taipei from Tainan. So you won't have to bring your bike back on the train from Tainan. You'll also get a personalized sponsored jersey and an entry to 1 Sundowners before the event. So we'll have like a pre-bike ride Sundowners. So when they say things like, you know, it includes like road support, things like that, for those of you who haven't been, we actually have, I think, 3 tour guides who are riding with us the entire time. So there's 1 person at the front, 1 person in the middle, and 1 person at the back. And we also have 2 cars. So 1 car at the front and 1 car at the back. So the car at the front, it'll actually be carrying all our luggage. So you don't have to worry about carrying your luggage on the ride. The car on the back is actually like a maintenance van. So if along the way you get a flat tire or you have problems with your bike, they've actually got like a mechanic who will come and help you straight away. Another thing along the way that's included is every about 20 kilometers or so, we actually have rest stops. And Giant's really great. At every rest stop, they have this massive truck full of food, full of fruit. So everyone just eats like crazy for 10 minutes. I mean, that's included in the price too. The only thing that's not included in this price is the HR or the train ticket back to Taipei. So what some people might do is they'll ride to Tainan, and since we finish on the Wednesday, some people have already said that they're probably going to go to Tainan and spend a long weekend there. So if you can do that, probably recommend that, and then spend Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Tainan. So a good opportunity to have a long weekend away. If you don't want to do that, the ride actually ends at the Tainan high-speed rail station. So we can finish the ride and everyone can get on the high-speed rail and we can come back straight back up to Taipei, and you can go to work the next day or just have a day off. Okay, let me get back to this one. Yeah, day off work is good. Okay, so last year we did have a few issues with the bikes. So what happened last year was that Giant brings the bikes back and they bring it back to a store that they store there, and then you have to go and pick up the bike. But some people were a little bit late to pick up their bikes, and Giant wasn't very happy about that. Some people took 3 or 4 months to pick up their bike, which meant their bike was in the store for 3 or 4 months. Not gonna name names. We all know who you are. But we have struck a deal with Giant. So what will happen is Giant will deliver your bikes back from Tainan, if you're using your own bike, to Taipei, to the Giant store in Nanjing, on Wednesday, the 21st of October. So that's the end of our ride. They'll send it back. The store's closed on Thursday, so you'll be able to pick up your bike from the Friday, and you have to pick it up by Monday, the 26th, okay? If you cannot pick up your bike by that date, that's fine. The store is offering a maintenance and delivery package. So you have basically 2 packages. The basic maintenance, so they'll do a partial assembly, they won't change the cable, and that costs $1,480. And then they've also got the full version bike maintenance, so they'll have complete assembly, new cable, that's $2,180. So within this price, it also includes delivery of your bike within Taipei or New Taipei City. So if you can't guarantee that you can pick up your bike by Monday, I would suggest that you let us know, and you pick one of the bike maintenance packages. They'll maintain your bike, and then they'll send it to your house. If for some reason you don't pick it up by Monday and you don't let us know, what's probably going to happen is I will just use the basic bike maintenance package. I probably won't ask them to maintain it, because if it's your bike, I don't want them to touch your bike. But you'll be charged the $1,480, and then we'll send the bike to my office or to your house. We haven't figured it out. I don't want it in my office, because then it's going to be 3 months of 10 bikes in my office. But yeah, just to let you know, if after Monday you don't pick up your bike and you haven't organized a delivery package, we will organize the delivery package for you, and you'll still have to pay it. So please let us know. So this is a few details about the rental bike. Yeah, it's just a standard Giant flat bar road bike. And if the package includes the bike and all the maintenance that might be required, if you're using your own, and there's also upgrades available at extra cost. So if you decide that you want a better bike, you can contact me and I can talk to Giant, and they've got a few other packages of better bikes that can be upgraded to. If you use your own bike, again, you have a $1,500 discount. But if you're using your own bike, any spare parts that are needed for the bike must be supplied by you. Okay, so this is the registration timeline. So what's going to happen is, after this presentation, probably a little bit later, I'll be sending a link out to everyone with the registration link. And then you'll be required to pay a $2,000 registration fee. So the deadline is before the 30th of May. And then we'll have a deposit that we'll ask everyone to pay, which is $15,000 by the 31st of July. And then the final payment for a single room is $18,000 and a double is $13,000. And the deadline for that payment is the 31st of August. We also have a cancellation policy. So after the 30th of May, the $2,000 registration fee is non-refundable. But as long as you cancel by these dates, then you'll get 95% refund if you cancel by the 1st, or 90% refund if you cancel by the 10th of August. So this is just following Giant's refund policy. Obviously, if we can, we'll try and get all your money back and then give it back to you. But yeah, this is the cancellation policy that we have so far.
And in the event of government.
That's the next one. And just to clarify, in the event of, if the trip is cancelled because of coronavirus or COVID, and Giant cancels it or the government cancels it, if some reason we can't travel within Taiwan, then of course we'll give you a full refund. So if it's COVID related and for some reason the government forces us or Giant forces us to cancel it, then you will get a full refund. So do not worry about that. Including the 2,000. Full refund, 100%. So this is our current COVID-19 policy. So right now, everyone's a bit worried with COVID-19, and of course, we want to make sure that everyone's very safe. So anything that we're going to do is just going to be in accordance with what the government is recommending. So right now, that would mean, if you've been overseas within the last 2 weeks, if you should be in quarantine or doing self-care management, or if you're in contact with someone who should be in quarantine, then we'll ask you that you cannot attend. And we'll be updating this, as things go along. So they might get stricter, it might get less strict, depending on the circumstances. Great. So as I was talking about before, we'll be emailing the registration link to everyone who's signed up, and I'll also send this presentation. If you're very keen, you can do it right now. So it's on our website. The link is there. So it's anzcham.org.tw/events/2020 ANZCham Charity Bike Ride. So if you follow that link there, you can register straight away. So how we're doing it is that after you've registered, we'll send you an invoice tomorrow morning for the $2,000 deposit. And basically the first 34 people who sign up will be the first people to get in. But you must pay by midnight, Tuesday the 28th, to guarantee your position. So if you're the 34th person and then we have the 35th, and you don't pay your deposit by the Tuesday, then we'll offer your place to the next person. Yeah, so that's the registration. Okay, so team training. So I want to pass it on quickly to Peter. So Peter's the organizer of all the ANZCham team training programs. So he'll outline them to you now.
Hey, hi everyone. So we have a WhatsApp group, we have a line group, and we go cycling during the week in the morning, typically around 6:30 start. We'll go for 30, 40 kilometers. And then on the weekend, maybe a Saturday or Sunday, we try and do a longer one, perhaps a slightly later start. So if you'd like to be invited to join those cycling groups on WhatsApp and line, just send me a text message and I'll add you. And we'd love to see you join us. I mean, training's really an important part of getting ready for the ride. So I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.
Cool, thank you, Peter. Okay, so that is the end of the webinar. Again, I'd like to thank our sponsors, ANZ Bank and Fonterra and Zespri. Without your help, we definitely could not do this. If anyone has any questions, I've got my email there, so it might be easier at this point just to email me any questions. No one's put any questions in the chat box, so I guess everything was pretty clear. But if you have any questions, please email me. I'll be emailing the registration link and this presentation to everyone shortly. Thank you.